Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Dwayne the Rock Johnson here, back with another hair dye tutorial. Today I'm bringing you yet another banger of a video in a Minecraft villagers tier list. These are not villagers, but they're blocks that represent the villagers, so sue me. I think we can start by putting a wandering trader in F tier because they suck. First of all, the only trades they offer you are you offering them emeralds for something. They never offer emeralds for anything else, so that kind of sucks. And second of all, you're never gonna use any of them anyway. Like, I'm not gonna give 6 emeralds for 1 block of packed ice. It's just not gonna happen. Anyway, with that out of the way, because we all knew that was going in F tier, I was just thinking we would get that out of the way first. But yeah, I have my handy dandy little thing of trades right here so I can look at it while I'm, trying to record or whatever. Anyway, yep, that's one ranking, and actually into the villagers we go, I guess. No, one thing actually. You know how a few videos ago, if you watched the video, but I don't know which one it was because I'm too lazy to go figure it out. But a few videos ago, I said I was going to record a video with the boys at a sleepover that I did. I didn't because we ran out of, I don't know, energy. We were supposed to record it at like 2 a.m., but we weren't asleep, but we were dying at 2 a.m. So that didn't happen, unfortunately. I wanted it to happen, but it didn't. So that kind of sucked. But anyway, there's nothing I can do about it now. What was that? Into the video we go. Now, starting it off, we got a fletching table, which shockingly is the Fletcher. Now, the Fletcher is a weird villager in the case that probably its best trades are its level 1 trades. Okay, so if you don't know, villagers have level 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 trades, and you need to get to like level 2 before you can do level 3, and so on. Its best trades are level 1. You can give it 32 sticks, which I think is the same as 4 wood logs. I'm probably wrong, but if it is, that's a very good, emerald maker. And then you can give it 1 emerald for 16 arrows, which saves you having to get 16 flint, which is a very painful experience. But yeah, so its level 1 trades are good. Its only other really great trade, or good trade, is an enchanted bow, which is level 4, or an enchanted crossbow in level 5, but no one's going to get that. Bows are just better. So because of its insane level 1 trades and pretty good level 4 trade, it has 3 good trades, which is pretty solid. I'm going to give it an A tier. You may or may not do some other things on the way, but those 3 are, in my opinion, the best ones, so it gets a solid A tier. I'm going to mix up the order of these because these are like all A tiers right here, so hold up. And I wouldn't want to have 4 A tiers in a row. That's just not, good. Ah, yeah, that's much better. Alright, next up we got a loom for a shepherd. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm looking at this. I don't see one, useful trade, at least for me. Unless you count 2 emeralds for shears, but that's pretty much just 2 emeralds for 2 iron ingots. Who's gonna do that? Like, I'm looking at these trades, there's not one good thing. Like, you could give 18 wool for 1 emerald. That's gonna take, like, 10 years to collect, and you give 1 emerald for it. It just doesn't make sense. So I'm honestly gonna give this a C tier, because it's pretty bad. I don't really know why I'm not gonna give it... I'm not going to give it F because it's not on the same level as a Wandering Trader, but it is definitely one of the worst non-Wandering Trader villagers out there. So yeah, that happened. Next up, we got Stone Mason, with the Stone Cutter. I'm looking at this. This only really has 1 good trade, and it's level 4, so you're not going to get to it because none of the other trades are good. It's 12 nether quartz for 1 emerald. So if you're like just rich and you just don't feel like doing anything, you can go to the nether, mine a bunch of nether quartz or whatever. So that's the only really good money maker out of the stonemason. I'm gonna give this a C as well. It's not as bad as a shepherd, but it's still pretty bad. So yeah, that gets a C tier. Now, Cartographer. By far the Cartographer's best trades are giving you a Ocean Explorer map and a Woodland Explorer map, which is pretty much just telling you the location of an ocean monument and or woodland mansion. The only really thing, unless you're like mega rich and have a sugarcane farm the size of like Ireland, unless you're mega rich, the only good, emerald making trade out of this is 11 glass panes for 1 emerald, which isn't really that good. So because of the maps, I'm going to give it a B tier. It's not quite Fletcher level, but it's also not quite Stonecutter level. Stone Mason level. So, yeah, it's a pretty decent villager. Now, you're seeing this brewing stand and thinking of a cleric and immediately thinking it's going in S tier, which is a good thought. My voice just went up like 10 octaves. That was weird. But that was a good thought because on a level 4 trade, you can give it 5 ender... What? No, give it 5 emeralds for 1 ender pearl, saving you the hassle of having to trade with piglins and or kill endermen, which no one does anymore. So that's a very, very, very useful trade. However, coming in with in 1.16, it was released that you can trade with penguins. That can also give you ender pearls, so that's a drawback. And also, that's really its only good trade. Like, nothing else is really that good. So I'm not gonna give it S. I'm gonna give it A because of the ender pearl trade. But still, that's its only really good trade. You can't really make emeralds off this thing at all. Like, you just use it for ender pearls. No one's used it for getting emeralds ever, but still, that one trade is huge. So it gets an A tier. Alright, coming in with what I think could very well be the most underrated villager in the entire game. You got a smithing table for a toolsmith. Now, starting off, the first level 1 trade that you can get emeralds from is 15 coal for 1 emerald. That's very expensive. However, it's worth it because level 2 is 4 iron for an emerald. That's a lot more affordable. And it's also 36 emeralds for 1 bell. That may very well be the most overpriced trade in the entire game, but I'm just not going to pay attention to it because no one does it. Anyway, besides that, after that, level 3 forward is a very, very good villager because it gives you, you can give it emeralds and it gives you enchanted diamond tools. Like, you know how good that is? It's so underrated. And I'm going to give it an A tier, honestly. And the only reason I'm not giving it S tier is because, it's not on... There's other things that are better. But still, it's a very, very good villager. And I honestly think it's better than a cleric. Because even you can't make emeralds off it like the same. But you can dump emeralds into it and get very good things out. Things that, in my opinion, are not more useful, but, more commonly used and better than ender pearls in general. So, yeah, most underrated villager in the game, A tier for Toolsmith. Okay, all these next ones are good, so I'm going to rearrange the order again. There we go, much better. So here we got a smoker, which is the possession for a butcher, and I'm looking at these trades here. It seems really similar to the shepherd in the sense that you can't really do anything. Like, you can give it raw meat, but, you don't have that much raw, because you're either going to cook it and eat it, or that's really the only thing you're going to do. You're not going to trade it to a villager. It's just, no. You're, it's just nothing here is good. Like, you can get mushroom stew for 1 emerald, and that's it. It gets a C tier because it sucks. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, I will say though, it is still more useful than the shepherd because the shepherd doesn't have anything. Because at least you can get food from this thing, but it's still worse than I think the stonemason and one of the worst ones in the game. Now I'm looking at this and thinking about what I'm gonna rank everything. And it's not adding up because I'm going to have very uneven tiers, which is unsatisfying. So I'm going to rearrange some stuff. I think I'm being too generous with a few things. First of all, Fletcher only has 3 good trades. I don't know why that's an A tier in the first place. That's a B tier because 3 good trades deserves a B tier, even though this really only has 1 good trade. But it's more important than all 3 of these combined, so that's not the point. Next up, we got Fletcher. That's not a Fletcher. That's what's it called? A shepherd going in F tier. I really hate to have it on the same rank as this. But this will forever be the worst one. But this is still a very, very bad, villager. You can't do anything with it. It kind of sucks. So, yeah, F tier. Anyway, yeah, after that rearrangement, moving on. Next up, you got Librarian. Now, Librarians are kind of OP in the sense that they can give you enchanted books. Like, that's really good. And there's a chance that enchanted book has mending on it. Therefore, it gets A tier. Now, the enchanting books are very expensive. And there's not really any trades here that you can get emeralds for. It's one of those villagers that you put emeralds into instead of getting emeralds out of. Just like, what's it called? Toolsmith. Yeah, Toolsmith, just like Toolsmith. But, still, it's a very useful villager. Enchanted books are very useful if you have an anvil, which is not that, cheap, but not that expensive either. So, yep, enchanted books, that's an A tier. Moving on, Leatherworker sucks. There's no explanation needed for this. You can't do anything with it. The only thing that you can trade it at all is... I can't even find it. Where is it? Oh, yeah, here it is. You can give it 6 leather for an emerald, and then the only thing it gives you for the rest of its entire level, 1 to... what's it called? 5 trades. You can give it emeralds, and it gives you leather armor. Like, no one uses leather armor for anything, ever. Or, you can just use an armor and get enchanted diamond armor. That just doesn't make sense. But still, yeah, it kind of sucks. It's like on the same level as Shepherd. That's how bad it is. So, yeah. F tier for Leatherworker. By the way, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but this is a cauldron. That's the workspace for Leatherworker. Alright, what just happened? Ignore that. But, anyway, you got, next up, I'm gonna just put an S tier in now because I feel like it. You got Farmer. You got a Composter, which is a farmer. That is an easy S tier. So, you know all these villagers that I'm saying, you put emeralds into them instead of getting emeralds out? The villager that you get emeralds out of is a farmer. It is so easy to get emeralds out of a farmer. Level 1, first of all, is a 1/4 chance of getting wheat, beetroots, carrots, or potatoes. You can plant all those 4 so easily. And then level 2, you got pumpkins, and level 3, you got melons. If you have a pumpkin farm and a melon farm and a farmer villager, you have so many emeralds, it's insane. I had a world in pure survival where I got 2 full emerald beacons. Like full, like 4 levels. 2 of them, because I killed 2 withers because I'm OP, made only from emeralds. I probably got 90% of those emeralds from farmers. That's how good farmers are. I had so many surplus emeralds that I decided to spend like an entire double chest with them on beacons instead of actually saving them from this because I had enough for them. That's how good farmers are. That's how easy it is to get emeralds out of farmers. It makes up for all of its other trades that are kind of trash, honestly. Because it's similar to a butcher in the sense that it just gives you food for emeralds. You're never going to use those. The only thing you're using farmers for is getting emeralds out of them because it's really easy to and it's really OP. I just ranted about that for a minute straight because it's good. But yeah, S tier for farmer. I'm going to have to do more rearranging, I think. But yeah. Yeah, I'm going to do some rearranging. First of all, Cartographer, I think it's a C because the only really thing it gives you is emeralds for glass, and woodland and ocean explorer maps are useful except for the fact that you're probably going to die once you get there. So yeah, that's a C tier. Why did I move my mouse? Right, I moved my mouse because I was ranking them, right. And then that makes room in B tier for fisherman. Now, fisherman, the only trade that's really good is it gives you an enchanted fishing rod. And also in level 5, it's easy to make emeralds off it once it hits level 5 because you can give it a boat for an emerald. And that's, I think, pretty much just like 5 wooden planks, which is like 1 wood log, which is better than the Fletcher's 32 sticks, which is 4 wood logs. So it's easy to make emeralds off it once it hits level 5. And also, it cooks your fish for you if you give it an emerald and fish, but no one really uses that because you can just use like 1 coal instead. Also, it's level 1 trade, 10 coal for 1 emerald. This is the only coal for emerald trade in the game that isn't 15 coal for 1 emerald. So it's kind of a bargain that you only give it 10. So that's a bonus, and yeah, that's why fisherman is B tier. I hate to do this, but I'm going to rearrange again because I feel like it. But what's it called? Cleric. Yeah, Cleric is going down to B. It only has 1 trade. And I'm putting it down to B instead of A for one reason, and that reason is because you can get emeralds you can get ender pearls just as easy now for trading for piglins for them instead of villagers. So it's still easy to get emerald pearls. It's still a really useful trade. However, there is another alternate way that you can get them without killing emeralds now. So that's very useful, and that's why it's B tier instead of A tier. So yeah. Oh, I'm done. Okay. Why can't I... Sorry, I just had a mental breakdown there. Ignore that. Next up, you got Weaponsmith in A tier. Now, Weaponsmith is the same level as Toolsmith, except it gives you weapons. It's pretty much the exact same thing. Except instead of giving you like just garbage like stone tools or whatever, it gives you an enchanted iron sword at the start for like 10 to 20 emeralds. So that's good. On like level 2, you can get an enchanted iron sword in like less than a day if you wanted to. You can just give it like 15 coal like 4 times, which might probably take a while, but it's easy to get an enchanted iron sword and then an enchanted diamond sword and axe at level 4 and 5. So that's really useful, and that's why Weaponsmith is an A tier. It's another one of those ones where you put emeralds in instead of getting emeralds out. However, you can make up for that with a farmer because that gives you like 3 sets of like stacks of emeralds every time you go in because it's so OP. Okay, I'm talking about farmers again, but yeah, it is OP. And then finally, you got armorers. Armorers are an S tier. Okay, I'll explain. Its level 1 trades are actually pretty hard to do. It's 15 coal for an emerald, and you have to do that like 6 times, which is pretty difficult. But after that, level 2 is 4 iron for 1 emerald. That's really easy to level up. Level 3 is 1 lava bucket, which is pretty much just 3 iron, and then you go down and get lava, which is easy if you have a lava pool. And then level 4 and 5, it gives you enchanted diamond armor for emerald, and that's just so good. Like, the amount of times I've died in my survival world, and then went back to my armor and just got armor just immediately. If I were to lose my armor, yeah, But if I were to do that, it would be really easy. I mean, I did do that a couple times actually because I'm thinking of a survival world that I haven't played in since like February for some reason. But yes, it is so easy to replace everything you have with an armor and also a weaponsmith and a toolsmith. That's why I have a villager trading farm, So if I die, I can just get all my gear back because the amount of emeralds I have is unholy. I could get like 10 diamond chest plates if I wanted to. Actually, probably more. But yeah, armor is just like weapon and toolsmith, except it's armor. And in my opinion, armor is actually more important. I mean, they're both really important, but it's really, really necessary to have armor so you don't die, you know? But yeah, that is my villager trading tier list. If you didn't agree with that, you suck, because this is correct. Your opinion is irrelevant. I will not pay attention to. Yeah, I'm sounding like Twitter right now. And I should probably end this video now, because during the time I recorded this video, I've been leaving like 4 people on red for about 20 minutes now, so that kind of sucks. But yes, let me know if you agreed or disagreed in the comments. I'm putting this back in my drawer because I don't need it anymore. By the way, this entire video, the Chromebook, has been recorded on my A-Push textbook, because that makes it look higher. Like, look at this, and then... I mean, that doesn't really make that much of a difference, but it definitely makes a difference. Anyway, yeah, that is my tier list. I hope you did not enjoy this video. If you did enjoy this video, I don't know what I was going to say there, but, you know, either way, if you didn't or didn't enjoy, subscribe, because I feel like you... Sorry, don't know what that was. Anyway, bye.